right. Streaming is kicking in. I got notifications on Google.
That's showing up.
Make sure our YouTube page comes up. There's another notification.
Yeah, we're up.
There's Murray.
Hey, Murray. Evening, gentlemen. Give us a split second here. We're getting the chat stream going, and then we'll bring you guys some quality entertainment as we get ready to review a few more guys and interview some more for the Party House this year. I'm just trying to get the chat stream up on the screen, and then we'll transition the video feed to us, and we'll get started. Come on. All the bandwidth, none of the throughput. Live from the Tiki Bar.
Oh, the simulcast is working.
There it is. All right, so if I put the video back, am I cut? Nope. Get the overlay right. How the hell am I still cutting it off? It's crazy.
Excuse us while we're having technical difficulties. This was a test.
We never have those.
This was a test of the DisDads broadcast network. This was only a test. If this had actually been a real live event, we would all have been intoxicated.
Would have been.
All right, I'm almost there. It's doing its own screen magic here, so let me...
The funny thing is that they can't see us, but they can hear us. So.
Yeah, all they see is a logo.
It's probably a good thing. I'm topless in the tub, so.
Oh, in that case, well, let's just go live here, straight to Unseen with Adam Dale. All right, guys, again, welcome to the show. Sorry to keep you waiting, but we do it every week, so you should be used to it by now. We're going to do another round of interviews, get to know some more of your DisDads. Actually, this week, I think we're actually going to get to interview your host, your party house host that are bringing a good portion of the guys to Disney World off-property this year. We thought we'd try something new. For those of you that haven't seen a show yet or haven't been privy to what's been going on, we're off-property at Reunion Resort at a 7-bedroom house. And we're going to get to know a lot of new guys this year and get familiar with some of the regular guys that come every year. Get all nice, cozy, and acquainted in a single house. And on that note, let's start getting to meet your panelists for tonight. So in the upper left-hand corner, the Bama fan himself, Mr. Adam Dale.
Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.
Roll to a roll.
In the lower left-hand corner, we got Terrence Hawkins. Terry, the Canadian pirate, we call him. You see he's got a pirate flag in the background.
Arr.
In the upper right-hand corner, Kevin Conrad is with us tonight. He's going to be our guest panelist that we're going to interview. And then in the lower right-hand corner, our stand-in pseudo-secretary, our keeper of notes and all things keeping us honest about what we say here, Mr. Jeff Fry.
Howdy.
And in the background, myself, I don't know if you can see me on the screen in the corner there, myself, Joe Masters, overall IT geek, love to just play with this stuff, and so I kind of help host and facilitate making this video available to you guys. So let's get started. Terry, who do you want to start with first?
Let's start with Kevin here.
What's up, fellas?
So Kevin, I'm not sure if you've got a chance to see the questionnaire or not. If so, I'll try to change up all the questions for you.
I was reviewing them tonight. Got to make sure I had answers.
So Kevin, why don't you tell us your name, where you live, where you're from, if you don't live where you grew up?
Kevin Conrad. I live in Reading, Pennsylvania, and I still live in Reading, Pennsylvania.
Right on.
Excellent. What do you do for a living?
As little as possible. I am I'm manager of field services at an engineering company, so I'm in charge of all construction, industrial hygiene, environmental sampling, and I'm a municipal client manager on top of that.
Oh, cool. That's a pretty broad range of responsibilities there.
Yep, that's what happens when you can't say no.
Yeah, well, as long as the money comes in enough for Disney trips, it's all good.
That's all I care about. As long as I got money for Disney, they can do with me whatever they please.
Yeah, awesome. And for those who don't know, how many kids do you have? And
I have 3 wonderful sons. I have an 18-year-old that's in college. I have an 12-year-old. My wife's looking at me like, nope, he had a birthday last week. And I have an 8-year-old.
Yeah, that was Ethan that we met just off screen there before, right?
Yep, that was Ethan. That's my 12-year-old.
Okay, yeah, awesome. What college is your oldest in?
He goes to Indiana University of Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And we actually have another DisDad that used to live in Indiana, Pennsylvania. David Jart used to live there.
Oh,
I think
okay.
I think his wife still has family there.
Yeah.
So he's my emergency in case something happens to Michael, that I give David a call and say, hey, I need help. So Michael's about 4 hours away. So
Oh, yeah.
It's been an adjustment. He just started in August. So
Yeah.
it's definitely been an adjustment not having him in the house.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah, the first one, from what I understand, the first one is all a bit of trepidation in that, and the last one is boot him out the door and.
Yeah, surprisingly, the first one was boot him out the door, and I think the last one's going to be the trepidation of I don't want you to go. Yeah, no, we were ready for Michael to go. He was ready to go.
Yeah, that's awesome. We see you're drinking water there, otherwise known as Michelob. Do you have a favorite rum drink?
No. It's been hard to say that, but no, I don't. I drink rum, but I don't normally drink rum. I normally drink beer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, there's quite a collection of DisDads that are on the dark side. It takes a balance, right? Beer
Absolutely.
and rum. So, Disney, where's your love of Disney come from?
Started out with my parents. My parents took us down a couple times when we were very young and developed a love for Disney when I was younger. I was in band when I was in high school, and we did the band trip down to Disney.
Oh,
so
cool.
That was a lot of fun. So I had 3 Disney trips before I graduated high school.
Yeah.
Went in the military, never had the money to go. My wife and I started dating, we got married, and we did our honeymoon in Disney.
Oh, nice.
So it was, my wife and I both love Disney very much, and we try and go, our vacations are we go to Disney or we go to the Outer Banks.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. Cool. And how often do you get down to the Disney parks?
We get down a lot more now that my wife became a nurse. So works out a lot better now. So we've been down, I think we've been down at least once or twice a year for the last 4 years.
Okay.
Nice.
So it's last couple of years. My wife at 43 decided to go back to nursing school.
Yeah.
Just went through nursing school with 3 kids in college, or 3 kids in school, and worked her way through, and she became a nurse, and it's been great.
That's quite a workload for her. Like.
It was definitely a lot. I mean, she had 4 children, including me, that she had to raise and put herself through school. So she did a great job.
Wow, that's amazing. Awesome. Have you been to any of the other Disney parks?
Have not had the opportunity. We've talked about going to Disneyland, and it's a little tough for us because we love Disney World so much. It's hard to want to go anywhere else. That's kind of our home, and that's where we want to be. So we have the opportunity to go. That's where we go.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Disneyland's nice, but it does fit in the parking lot at Magic Kingdom. So.
Right.
Yeah. Right on. And refresh our memory. Have you been to any of the previous DDCs?
I was at the last one. Unfortunately, it didn't work out real well for us, but my wife and I went down. She unfortunately got the Disney virus and was laid up for 2 days with the stomach virus when we were down. So we missed out on a bunch of the things because of her being sick.
Right.
But I was able to be there. I got to see Adam in the bathtub with the bubbles and
Rubber dub, one tail on the tub.
But we had a great time being there, and I mean she was a trooper getting through it, and a little rough.
Yeah.
But I got lucky. I didn't get it until probably 5 minutes after we walked in the door to get home, and then I was laid up for 2 days.
Oh man. Yeah, that was brutal. I remember that now, that she was laid up pretty bad.
Yeah, she was really sick. So
Oh jeez.
I'm hoping this year is better.
Yeah, no kidding. And aside from better health, what are you looking forward to most at the upcoming convention?
I'm looking forward to most is dropping my mom and my aunt off at Port Orleans and getting to the party house.
Here.
I was at my nephew's graduation party over the summer, and I walked into a conversation with my mom, my aunt, and my brother's mother-in-law. And my aunt was telling them all about her Disney trip that she took in the spring with her family. And I'm not sure exactly what happened, but somewhere along the line, it was, oh, well, Kevin can drive us down when he goes down in January. So now I'm driving my mom, my aunt, and my mother-in-law, or not my mother-in-law, my brother's mother-in-law down to Disney, dropping them off at Port Orleans, and I'm driving to the party house.
Good move.
So, after an 18-hour trip with 3 elderly ladies, I'm going to be ready for a couple of drinks.
We'll have.
I really hope you're padding that time.
Well, I told my mom, I said, we are leaving very early in the morning, and I said, we are getting down there very quickly.
I took my late mother-in-law with us one time, and we stopped. It's only an 7.5, 8 hour drive for us, and it took 12 hours. Because we had to stop, and we had to stop, and we had to stop.
Right.
And finally, we made it to Gainesville, and I saw her get out. She went and got another cup of coffee and got back in the car, and I said, no, you're going to pour that out, because I'm not stopping again until we get to Orlando.
Yeah. Yeah, I figure if I could get them in the car by 2 a.m., I can get into at least North Carolina before the stops start happening, and it's going to be every 2 hours all the way down.
Yep. Depends, man.
Yeah. Well, but to make it even worse, my mom was like, "Well, maybe we should get a hotel for the and split it up." I was like, "No, I can drive straight through. I'll be fine." But I'm looking forward to having that time with my mom and my aunt. That it's something that I wouldn't have expected to be able to do. And so I am kind of looking forward to having time with my mom and my aunt on the way down and the way back.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
The drive's going to suck, but still.
Yeah, but you never know when it's going to be the last time you get a chance to do that. So you take the opportunity.
Exactly. So.
Is there anything else you'd like to tell us about yourself, other than being extremely brave for doing that drive?
No, I'm, I'm pretty simple. I mean, I do pretty much everything for my family, and that's about it. I mean, if I'm not coaching, I don't know what I'd do if I don't coach. I pretty much coach anything my kids are doing and try and spend as much time with my kids as I can.
Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome.
Good man, Kevin.
Bravo. Cheers to you.
Yep. Here's Kev.
Jeff's hydrating over there.
And for the record, yes, I did see Andrew today. We were together today. We did not take a picture together today, but I did see him.
But now you know.
Yeah, it actually did happen.
It's just like a bear.
Sure. Because there wasn't a picture there, but I was actually impressed with Andrew. My satellite office is in the same office building that Andrew works.
Oh,
cool.
So I texted him as I was walking into the building. I had to stop at the satellite office today, and I said, "Hey," I said, "Are you in the office?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "I'm walking in now." Within a couple seconds, he was down the elevator and there to meet me. So
Nice.
It was pretty cool. I got to see him for a couple minutes today and talk to him. So
Yeah. Awesome. Well, good work, even though it didn't happen.
yeah.
It just means you got to do it again.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, it's a shame. I'm so close to Jay. I'm so close to Andrew, and even with Carl, and I don't see him as much as I should. And even Colin. I've never met Colin, but Colin's only about 30 miles away from where I live.
Wow.
Well, you suck.
I know.
We all understand why you don't go visit Carl.
Yeah.
We fully understand that one. You know,
Yeah.
we're okay with that.
I got to try to talk Colin. My son's playing in a soccer game at it's about 8 miles away from where Colin lives. So I got to try to talk him into stopping down Saturday morning to the soccer game.
Yeah. Bring a camera.
Yeah, this time I will.
You know, they added those nice inventions to cell phones.
Yeah, it works out great when you don't leave your cell phone in the car.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Kevin.
Yep.
Let's move on to the guy in the Awesome Trader Sam shirt.
Bravo there, Jeffrey Fry.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done.
I thought it was appropriate for tonight.
Very appropriate. I'm a little jealous.
So tell us a little bit about yourself there, Jeff.
Yeah, so my name's Jeff Fry. I'm Fry Guy. I live in Tulsa. That's in Oklahoma, for those of you who don't know the middle of the country. I grew up in a really small town in Oklahoma called Spiro. Probably nobody's ever heard of it. Tulsa is a perfect size for us. It's like a little city, you know.
Yeah, mini metropolis.
Yeah, great size for us. I work in IT. I'm in the analytics space, so I do a lot of database design and database programming, that type of stuff, which I like to do. And right now, it's not keeping me very busy, so I gotta figure something out about that.
Yeah.
And that would be a good time for a shameless plug for Fried Up.
Absolutely, yes. I plan once I find the right moment in time. I plan to spam everyone that I know. Yes.
Excellent.
Nice.
I've been enjoying those videos. I haven't seen them all yet, but I saw the first 3 or 4 there, and quite enjoying that.
Yes.
You and Becky going through the parks and the food and wine there. It's awesome.
Yeah. Thanks. I enjoy doing it. It's a lot of fun.
So my question for you though, how many lobsters did you have?
We only had I had about 3/4. Becky didn't eat all of her half. We ate too much at Food and Wine before we went over there.
and that's a pretty good spread.
It is. It was. It was very good. It was very good.
I'm
real
kind of
glad
tempted
there.
to add that to my list.
Where was that?
The
that
Garden
again?
Grove,
Right.
restaurant in the Swan.
Yeah.
Apparently, nobody knows about it.
Yeah. You guys have, Adams mentioned it. I think, has Joe mentioned it before? Can't remember, but I know Adams mentioned it a couple times there. That's supposed to be a good one for seafood lovers.
Yeah, yeah. It
Not
was,
Terry.
it was very good.
Yeah.
There were probably about 7 other tables when we were the hour and a half, 2 hours that we were there
Oh, wow.
in the whole restaurant. Now that
Oh.
may have just been because of food and wine. I don't know, but yeah,
Yeah.
it
That's
was great.
that's a great hotel too. So how many kids do you have, and what are their ages?
We have 4 kids. Abby's 20, almost 20. Leah's 16. Lizzie is 13, and Jacob is 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's a great spread, and now that you have the shirt to prove definitely that you've been there, what's your favorite rum drink?
You know, I'll drink pretty much anything with rum in it. I'll try anything at least once. I used to say my favorite was rum punch, and or a Cuba Libre, rum and coke for those who aren't as sophisticated as Oklahomans.
That's 2 weeks in a row, Chris. Take note.
But probably after this last trip, I would say the Nautilus is definitely probably my favorite rum drink now.
Bravo. Good choice.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
If you'll look over Terry's shoulder, you'll notice a Nautilus on the shelf in the view.
There you go.
Nicknamed the Rum Gravy Boat.
Yeah.
Make sure you
I need
join
a
us
good
this
straw
January
for
at
that
Trader
pint.
Sam's. You too can get yourself one of those.
Yeah. They just need a straw in the tail here, and
Yeah.
so
I wondered
that's
why they
perfect.
didn't do that when those were made. That was a missed opportunity.
Big time.
Yeah. Next batch. Where's your love of Disney come from, Jeff?
I always wanted to go to Disney World as a kid and never had the chance to. And when about a year after, I guess after we'd been married, my father-in-law decided to take all of us on a trip to Disney World. So me and my wife and the oldest and then the in-laws, we all went down there, and I was hooked. I was hooked before I even got there. Someone told us we needed to read the unofficial guide to Disney World, and thanks to Lynn Testa, I was obsessed. I have been obsessed with Disney World ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, I guess, 2006 before we took our next trip, and then we've tried to go every. We said we were going to go every 3 years, and it got shorter between trips, and then I started going by myself and leaving the family at home.
That family gets expensive.
They do.
You can have a lot
You
more
can do a
fun.
lot more trips when you're solo,
Exactly.
depending on the number of nights at Trader Sam's.
Thought you said the family was home, Terry.
They're out of earshot. It's all good.
Okay.
And have you made it out to any of the other parks?
Yes, we went to Disneyland a few years ago, so I've been there once. It's quaint. No, we really enjoyed it. It's actually, I think, a lot less stressful of a trip to go to Disneyland than to Disney World. I think you can go and fly by the seat of your pants there a whole lot easier, for sure.
But it's a whole different vibe.
It is.
Right? Like I said it before there that I haven't seen, like, Disney World and Disneyland are completely 100% different crowds. Disneyland, you're going to see some of the sketchiest people you've ever seen in your life, with really, really horrible tattoos and every one of them is some of the most respectful people you'll ever see in a park. Nicest people. They'll help you out. They all go around. They treat it as their park. They pick up the garbage themselves.
Yep.
Like it's this weird vibe, but yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we really enjoyed it. We will probably be back again sometime, and I don't know when, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome. And which of the other conventions have you been to?
I've been to the last 3, so I think I'm 50% right now.
Yeah. Awesome.
Gonna put you over the hump this year.
There you
go. And what are you most looking forward to at this convention?
I always enjoy meeting more of the dads that come, new guys that show up. That's always, I think, a lot of fun to get to know other Disney enthusiasts that understand our craziness, right? And I'm in the early planning stages. I think I'm going to try to do another 4-park challenge this year. So,
gonna up the ante.
Up in the game because you've done something like that every year.
Yeah, it'll be different this year with Flight of Passage and Toy Story Land being new. Yeah, I don't know exactly what all it will entail, but I definitely want to try it again. And then the Party House, I think, is going to be a great experience. Hopefully, our new bartender is going to have a lot of good new drinks for us to try.
Who's our new bartender?
What's that?
Chris.
Okay.
Chris Popchak is our new bartender or new waitress.
Yeah, he's the guy evidently I got to cuddle with at some point. I'm not sure how that happened, but
depends on how good his drinks are. You may not have a choice.
If they're good drinks, he may just get it anyway.
It depends on what he's putting in them drinks.
That's right.
Jeff, is there anything else you'd like to tell us about yourself?
No. I think that's pretty much it.
All right. Cool. Let's move on. We'll go with the voice that without the picture there. Let's move on to Joe.
Me. Yay. Yeah. All right. So let's see what I can do here. Let's do a little.
We're going to try to get him to shuffle pictures around.
Somehow or another, he's in there, but just slightly.
How's that for the moment?
It's Mini Joe.
All right. So I guess I'll go next. So my name is Joe Masters. I live in Irving, Texas, which is a suburb of Dallas. Former home. Let me say that correctly. Former home of the Dallas Cowboys, which, by the way, is now in Arlington, Texas, not in Dallas County anymore, yet they're still called the Dallas Cowboys. I don't get that. But anyway.
They still have a team in the NFL?
Not a professional one, no.
Okay, I didn't think so.
They've got a stadium and some cheerleaders. It's all good.
Cheerleaders is all that matters.
We all know why Jerry put that big old board up there. So I am originally born and raised in Florida. I'm born in Daytona Beach. I was raised on the east coast of Florida, so I am native Floridian. So let's see. Name, where do you live, where are you from? What do I do? What makes it possible for me to go to Disney so much? In layman's terms, I'll go that route first. I play with cell phones for a living. Literally. I mean, cell phone, iPad, you name it. You know, I get paid to play with it and figure it out and secure it and make it work for our company. I work for AIG Global Insurance. I'm the senior mobility engineer, so basically all things in the mobile space go through me. All the access, the application deployments, the certifications go through my team. We work very closely, obviously, with legal and security to make sure corporate data through any of our mobile devices stays managed as corporate data. So that's the role I get to play for AIG.
Cool. And your kids.
So kids, so I'm going to be the odd guy out here. I'm going to tell you a number. I have 1.5 kids. So explain myself. Yes. My daughter is Ariel, named after the Little Mermaid. She is 18 years old. She started college at Texas Women's University up in Denton, neighbor to UNT of Denton, of course. And then I have what I call my half-daughter, which is her older sister from her mother's previous, who I've been around since she was 4 years old. Her dad was on-the-road truck driver, led a very busy life, started another family, and, you know, not to go too deep in the degradation of his character, but he just wasn't there enough for her when she was a younger kid. There was a spell where he didn't show up for Christmas, didn't send her birthday cards. And, you know, word of the wise as a single dad, those moments will come back to haunt you for the rest of your life. So I've been around her since she was 4 years old, been there, taking her to school, birthday cards, Christmas gifts, the whole 9 yards. She was with us in '98 when we all went to Disney World before Ariel was born. And then again, back when Ariel turned 2 years old, we went back again. So I've taken her to Disney twice myself. Other than that, that's my 1.5.
Yeah.
She's 25 now. She moved out when she turned 18. Couldn't wait to get out on her own, do it her way. Been working 2 jobs. With a little assistance between her mother and I, we've co-signed a couple of college loans, but she's already got her bachelor's or associate's degree in criminal justice. She just finished her bachelor's degree in criminal justice and now is going back for a master's and specializing in IT cybersecurity.
Oh, that's
So for
cool.
a kid that couldn't wait to get out of the house, who couldn't wait to do it her way, whose parents were divorced, and a father that was there very fractionally in her life, has turned out to be an amazing, amazing child and has done amazing things already with her life. And I'm very proud.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. And
All right.
cheers to Britain.
Yeah.
Joe, if people are losing the feed.
Oh,
Don't know what they're doing wrong because it's still scrolling on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm showing
Yeah.
0 dropped frames.
ah. Okay. Rum drink. What's your
Favorite rum
of choice?
drink? I'll have to say probably anything they serve at Trader Sam's. Because I have the whole collection.
Now
I've
we
got
just lost the feed.
Did we really?
Yeah. Let me check the.
Yeah, because from the stream perspective,
10
10 frames per second, 22% CPU utilization, and 0 dropped.
Yeah, we're still. We must have lost something somewhere. I wonder if the repeater died.
Uh-oh.
That's weird. I still have it up.
Oh, you still got it up? I wonder if we're having a CDN issue.
Maybe it's a U.S. boycott here.
Content distribution network.
Remember, I'm the talkie tiki. You guys are the techie peekies.
I understand.
Bear with us, guys. We'll try and figure out what's going on here in a moment.
Yeah, Colin's still here. Murray.
Now, see that? I think that's what happened. Is we lost content distribution on the big pipes. It's back up, sort
Okay.
of. Well, it's no, and the error occurred in the playback.
Colin's saying
I wonder
he's seen it drop once, but it's been fine for a while.
Okay, it's back up now.
Okay.
And it's went out again.
Yeah, it's still gone for me on the Rumbler Ramblings page.
Oh, that's wild.
We can keep going, and hopefully it'll pick it up.
Yeah, bear with us, guys. Hopefully it'll kick back in.
Keeps dying for Jason. Darcy says it's lost him 3 times, but
So that's weird because
yeah, it hasn't dropped for me at all. I got it on my screen.
there
Now
you go.
there's a rumble.
The Kraken. Release the Kraken.
So there must be something happened in the somewhere in the U.S. because
I think so.
It's still connected to YouTube because everybody hadn't lost it.
Right.
YouTube is not refreshing for me very well. It's probably because I'm in the feed. Everything goes wrong when I touch something.
And it's still
no, that's me.
I was gonna say that's Terry.
And it's clocking again on Facebook.
Mary, you and I should never be in the same room together then.
Oh, we coped out pretty well at the. Which one was that? 5 or 4 or 5?
We actually 4.
The one where your in-laws thought we were going to eat you.
Yeah, 4, and then I roomed with you at 6 too. This last one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So for those that don't know, while we're waiting here, those that are still on, DDC 4 was Jeff's first DDC, and he and Matt and Aaron. Who else was in the room?
I think it was
Somebody
just
else
the 4.
Yeah, it was just y'all
Yeah.
4. We were around the corner.
Yeah.
But Jeff's father-in-law
Yep.
was 100% positive we were going to eat him.
I was traveling to Florida to meet these people that I only knew from the internet.
Conspiracy theory.
That's pretty awesome.
Oh, there we go. Now I've lost you.
See, it's trickling around the U.S. and now it's made its way to Canada, and now we're back on Facebook. Is still turning.
Wow.
Which is really weird because Facebook, even usually if you have a hiccup in the stream, it's gone.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So we don't really know what's going on with YouTube, and I'm getting dings from everybody under the sun. Look, you get what you pay for.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Jeff. Typically, you spell feed with 2 e's.
Yeah, right.
Fed. Fed's watching.
Try the Facebook Ferd.
We don't really know why this is happening, but
That's not us.
it's really not us. We're streaming
We're
because
blaming the interwebs.
we are going to blame YouTube. YouTube just went to crap.
Universal must have stood up a new website, or Disney did.
Disney bought YouTube.
We're doomed.
That'll never work again.
So I showed the bottle of Kraken. This is a DisDad bottle of Kraken. This is our golfing bottle of Kraken.
Oh.
When I golfed with Carl and Jay and Andrew.
How did that survive Jay?
I'll tell you how it survived Jay, because Jay actually he slid on a railroad tie and got hurt pretty bad.
That's right.
That is the only reason that survived Jay. But that'll be on the next golfing trip.
There we go. So do we want to wait to see if this fixes, or do we want to sort of continue on, or send everybody over to Facebook?
Yeah, is the Facebook feed still going? Because we could probably send everybody over there.
Yeah, I was double checking that right quick. It was up 2 seconds ago. Yeah, it's still going.
Oh, okay. Can you link that to the group me for the guys there, or?
It's in the freaking.
Yeah, it's in the actual DisDads group.
Yeah. It's in the
Come on,
DisDads group.
The main
They're all like me.
Like, oh man, I'm seeing like some Twitter noise that YouTube's squirreled up. So yeah, it's not just
YouTube.
we broke YouTube.
We broke YouTube.
Yeah, like it's an internal server error from YouTube. Like,
Yeah, I was getting that
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, Facebook looks good.
yeah. The only problem with that is that the way I've got it in there, it's, privatized, so only people in the group can get to it, but it'll be all right. If we keep going, maybe YouTube picks this up and we can upload the video later.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so back on track. Let's see. We were discussing favorite rum drinks, and
Yes.
I said, pretty much anything at Trader Sam's. There's not a bad drink at Trader Sam's. For those of you who have never been, and those of you that are going to go, trust me, you'll get to see it in January. They do a drink and a show. A lot of the drinks are signature, and they do a tiki god activates, or volcano activates on the wall, or cast member run around the room with a squirt bottle, making you feel like you're under the water. It's a fun place to hang out. It's one of our favorites. We're obviously going to give the Edison another good run this year, and make sure we don't have a good backup place, a good second. Because what does the Edison have, Adam, that we like so much?
Hanger bacon.
Hanger bacon. So we're gonna see how much bacon they truly have on staff and work them over. Anyway,
they also have those. They also have that cool band that plays. So
They do.
yeah, live entertainment. So
Yeah, for live entertainment, that's awesome. If they had collector hangers for the bacon, we'd be in serious trouble.
collector hangers.
So at the moment, several of us, I think Adam's got his on the table. He's probably drinking out of his Bama cup. But this is the Hippopotam Mai Tai, one of the collector glasses from Trader Sam's, along with the Nautilus that Terry showed earlier. There's also a Oa, which is a blast drink. Wait for it. He's got that one too. So see no evil, speak no evil. And then there's the Krakatoa. If you watched last week's video, Chris was drinking out of the Krakatoa mug. So lots of cool drinks. I'd have to say my favorite probably from a taste perspective was the Krakatoa. That's why I have two of those mugs. But again, there's not a bad drink in the house. You'll like them all. Being close proximity to the Poly, you can order pot stickers and various quick snack tray stuff from upstairs while you're sitting in there to go along with your rum. Great place to hang out, great place to be.
Yeah, a blast.
Trending on Twitter as of now, YouTube is down. The zombie apocalypse is near.
Will they get a load of us?
There we go. We need the zombie drink now is what we need there. Shrunken head.
Got that cup too.
Facebook appears to be kind of glitchy too.
Yeah. And where's your love of Disney come from, Joe?
Whew, let's go down that route. So, as I mentioned in the beginning, I was born in Daytona Beach, so I'm a native Floridian. When Walt Disney decided to build property in Florida, I think he knew I was coming into this world and was on the right path. I remember when I was a little boy, probably somewhere around 1975. Yes, I'm old. Around 1975 was my first trip to Disney World. My parents took me. I remember one of the first shows that I ever saw and things that really got me fixed on Disney World was the Country Bear Jamboree, somewhere in that time frame. But just enjoying the park. As I grew up, we had the Wonderful World of Disney on TV every Sunday night, so we used to watch that religiously. That was kind of one of the things back then. You got to watch one show on Sunday night, and then you went and took a bath, brushed your hair, brushed your teeth, and got in bed, right? So that was that. Lo and behold, today, of all things, my boss had sent me a package from New York, something he had found in a collection. So today, this arrived. That is the original highlights from the Mickey Mouse Club Walt Disney Edition. It says down here, copyright 1955.
Wow.
All right, so this is the OG stuff.
That's cool.
I don't have a record player, but I'll invest in one. But other than that, that's kind of where my love for Disney came from as an early on. And then, like I said, growing up in Florida, when I got to the age that I could take myself, when I turned 17, 18 years old, myself and a group of friends drove to Disney and spent a couple of days. One of the traditions I have as just a human being, many of the girlfriends I've had over the years, I've taken to Disney. And then now that my daughter was born, she was named after the Little Mermaid. Which for me, again, a turn of the century type event under the Disney Studios when Disney started making good movies again. Began in 1989 when The Little Mermaid came out and generated a whole new series of princess movies and all the things we see and love today. So Disney is life.
Awesome. And you get down to the parks quite a bit.
More than I probably should, or the most than the average people. I enjoy Disney enough that I find the annual pass really worth it for me. Now that I've met up with the DisDads, I've been part of the Dis boards since, oh my gosh, 2005 timeframe. Webmaster Kathy on the Dis and I worked together at JCPenney, and she was the one that got me on the Dis. So I have a very low member number on the Dis. But I didn't find the DisDads until somewhere around 2000, I want to say 10, 11 timeframe. I'm not sure. There was the event that happened on the Dis that drove us to an external website. And then the conversation around doing a get-together. In the beginning, for those that don't know, there was the original Nemesis Challenge between Barry and Tim, or Timothy, should I say, because there's several Tims in the club. Between Barry and Timothy. So the Nemesis Challenge led to the Run Disney Marathon in 2011, I believe it was, and what we will call DDCC 1. We all met up and had a great time, got to know a lot of dads, did some group rides, did some group Dole Whips. But I had my daughter with me at the time, and I didn't have as much interaction with the guys as then. I missed out on DDC 2 and DDC 3. But I was definitely back for DDC 4. So for my stay in DDCC 4, Scott had ponied up and was the center for renting the Grand Villa at Old Key West, the big 3-bedroom, what was the party room back then. So that's when I made it back solo without Ariel this time. And then that's when I got to know everybody else, and the whole DDC trips thing started happening, and I have not missed one since. DDC 5 was a great trip. That's when we started the barbecue. DDC 6, more people came and got to know each other, and it's been growing and growing. And this year, I think we're about to blow the roof off the house with so many guys and so many activities. We've got, thanks to Terry, got all the ADR set up. We're coming up on our Fast Pass window, which is what date, Terry?
November 5th, I think.
November 5th.
5th or 6th. I have it in my phone.
So that's all coming up. So again, that's my Disney life. This is what I do. I love hanging out with these guys. And I look forward to meeting all the new guys come January, all the guys that are staying in the house, and even the ones that aren't staying in the house. It's going to be a great time. I just enjoy Disney. And for those of you that don't know, the quickest way for you to make friendship with me is for you to buy me a Mickey bar. So.
Apparently, he demands one with a stick, not the better stickless ones.
There's no, I don't know what that other thing is. Jim Locke was just down there the other day, and his daughter made a horrible, horrible choice. I don't know how they did that, but
I'll be honest.
Got to have a stick.
If they could take the one without a stick and dip it in chocolate.
Oh,
that might be key also.
That would be.
Because it's ice cream in the middle, it's chocolate on the outside with a little bit of cookie cover. I could do that.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I could do that.
We might have to try to invent that. Challenge accepted.
Joe, we didn't cover this. Have you made it out to any of the other parks?
So I have twice, I think. No, one time. I've been to California twice. Once was for training. Another time was for, actually both were for training, as a matter of fact. But the first time, Ariel's mother and I, early on in our relationship, worked at the same company, and we both got shipped to California for training. of all things, repairing touchscreen point-of-sale systems for Cinemark theaters, which was out in Irvine, California. So while we were in Irvine, it's like, 40-minute drive down the 405 over to Anaheim to go to Disneyland. Let's go check it out. So we actually sweet-talked the company into letting us stay the weekend, which coincidentally saved the company money because the flight was over 4 days versus a down and back turnaround flight cost. So it was actually a cheaper flight. So we convinced them to do that. We paid for our own hotel room, and we went to Disney. So Disneyland, one time on property. The second time I went down for training, I stood outside the fence. It was 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and like an $80 price tag for, I think the park was only open 4 more hours.
Yeah, it's tough to justify.
And today you'd do it just to get a Mickey bar.
Yeah. Well, I was in downtown Disney, so I was set. I think at the time, the thing I did buy was a Sorcerer Mickey covered apple with the marshmallows and stuff. That's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah.
I had that photo somewhere. So yeah, again, all Disney, anytime. I haven't made it outside the country. I don't know. I don't travel outside the U.S. very much because it means flying over Orlando most of the time, and I never make it past Orlando. So what's up and coming besides DDC7? Again, for the group of you that may or may not know, we've got a DisDads cruise coming up at the end of November, right after Thanksgiving, that Friday the 23rd. I'm flying to New York, meeting the Northeast group of DisDads, which is Randall. Hi, Randall. Timothy and Paul Hajar. And then several families, we're going to get on the Disney Magic, which is a repositioning cruise down to San Juan. And then I got to come home from San Juan, which means flying almost over Orlando. But I will make the plane stop and let me off.
Just open a window. I'm sure they'll let you out.
Give me a parachute. I'll land right in the middle of the park.
Be like the gliders that they used to do on Epcot at the lake.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right. What else? Love of Disney. Off into the parks. Where you been? Okay, been there. DDCs, we covered that, right? So
Yeah.
1, 4, 5, 6, and now 7.
What are you looking forward to most at 7?
Mickey Bar.
It's a good, honest answer.
Honestly, there's quite a few things. First of all the new guys that have chosen to come this year, and even the guys that are coming back, the ones that are, or should I say the one that's probably coming back without his family. Good to see Chris again. Just hanging out in the house. I'm really curious to see how well this goes, how well we navigate getting from the house to the parks and making the success. I think it's no shock to anyone that Disney's raised prices again. Was it yesterday or today?
Yep, yesterday.
On the AP, and it's just a constant money grab because we keep showing up. Most of us don't have a limit so far, and so they just keep raising the prices because they can. So I'm really curious to see how the house works out this year. I'm curious to see how we navigate, 14 guys with 7 bedrooms and all the bathrooms and food and travel and all that stuff. I'm curious to see if we could do it very successfully, which sets us up for next year. Again, major cost savings compared to what that many guys would be paying collectively for a resort or a couple of resorts, right?
Yep.
We're definitely blowing the price out of the water this year.
Yeah.
So that's being the key
And
thing.
if we can, there's bigger places available too that fit more guys.
We hit
we
cap,
really weren't sure
March?
how things would go this year, but it filled up pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Within 2 weeks of me opening up taking reservations, I was out of slots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We even had a waiting list.
next year is we look at a bigger house, or we could do 2 houses, maybe get them side by side. Who knows? Like I said, it all depends on how well this goes off and how everybody likes the whole house thing off property. I get it. Disney transportation is not available to us.
It is going to be a big adjustment. You're right, Joe.
But we'll make it work.
Yeah. Awesome. Anything else you'd like to tell us about yourself?
Go Irish.
Oh, God.
I am a big Notre Dame fan, so my love for Notre Dame comes from really my brother. So my brother is special ed, somewhat mentally handicapped. He represented the state of Florida in the International Special Olympics, or the National Special Olympics, which back in the 80s, I believe it was, that was held in South Bend on Notre Dame's campus. So kids from all over the United States representing swimming, running, whatever Special Olympics activities they had back then. My brother represented swimming for the state of Florida. He was chosen out of, I think, 5 kids to go. So needless to say, we all went and supported him and cheer him on. Special Olympics is a great organization when it comes to those kids, because in the aspect of participation and winning, all they want to be is cheered on. They don't care if they win or lose or whatever. Most of them just glad to be there and love the hugs and love the praise. And it's just, it's so an exciting environment for those kids. And it's fun to be a person there that can cheer them on and see the excitement in their eyes. But that all happened on Notre Dame's campus. So we got to spend a week walking around campus, seeing the dorms. My brother actually got to stay in a dorm. My dad and I stayed off property at a hotel. I've actually walked inside the hollowed ground of that stadium and looked at the field and could see touchdown Jesus at the end of the end zone. And my dad went and, because my dad was Catholic, so we went over to the Basilica. My dad did his prayer and lit a candle, and just the whole week and the environment on campus was just like, this is Notre Dame. This is such a cool place. And of all the campuses I may have been to over the years between family and cousins and whatnot, that's the one that hit home with me, because my swim there and march down the field and come in through the end zone, and I got to see the whole place. So I've been kind of a fan ever since. When I got out of high school, actually in high school, I met up with a good friend of mine who was a roommate after high school for a while, who was from Lansing, Michigan. So needless to say, he was a Michigan Wolverine fan. Go Wolverines, hail victors. So Saturdays were us, right? So I had another friend of mine that we went to high school with who was native Texan, big Texas Longhorn fan. So imagine 3 guys go to someplace like CC's Pizza on a Saturday at noon and not leave till like 5 o'clock in the evening. So we're nursing pizzas, watching football games on the TV screen. We get kicked out every Saturday. But football is life.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
So if things go well, at the moment things are looking well. No guarantees for the end of the road. But if things go well, it is going to be one hell of a good time come Monday night in the party house.
That's going to be awesome. It's going to be a great evening either way, but
sure.
Holy smokes!
If Bama and Notre Dame make it to the end and it's Adam versus Joe in the house, we're going to have a great time.
We'll live stream for all of you guys there, and
now there may be tape right down the middle of the house, and the bathrooms are divided for about an hour or two, but it's going to be a great time.
There will definitely be a loser leaves town bet if that comes, or something,
Yeah, I'll have a photo.
Somebody streaking through the neighborhood, or something.
I'll have a photo of Adam sleeping snugly on his bed with a Notre Dame flag draped over his comforter. No, really, guys, there's no hate there when it comes to that stuff. It's just great camaraderie. I root for Alabama just the same. But it is going to be a great time.
Unless you're a Dallas Cowboys fan, then that's an issue.
Well,
NFL's a different story.
We worship, watch, and enjoy these guys when they're in the college level, and we wish them their best when they take off to the NFL.
And in my world, as long as you're not orange, we usually get along pretty well.
I can tell you the Eagles and Penn State have no orange in their colors.
Exactly. And this is Tennessee Hate Week, so nothing sucks like a big orange.
Well, thanks, Joe. Moving on, since we're talking Tennessee Hate Week, let's move over to Adam.
All right, so as most of you know, I am a very big Alabama fan and Alabama supporter. Growing up in the heart of Dixie, that's kind of you choose your side at birth around here. In my family, though, we were odd. My dad's a barber, and so he kind of kept, he just likes to give everybody a hard time. And so we didn't really have a, big thing going on in the house. So I just sort of fell on that side because that's what I liked, partially because it was just giving my cousin a hard time because he was an Auburn fan. And so that was in the, the last days of the Bear, and, all those kind of things going on when I was young. But ironically, I ended up with a full ride scholarship to Auburn, and that's where I went to school. I did roll those dang trees in crimson toilet paper in 1992. We've outlasted that criminal.
Past the statute there.
Statute of limitations is up on that. There was actually, while I was in school there was a surprisingly not large contingent, but enough people that you got to know that were actually there because they either came for the vet school or they came for a certain engineering degree that was offered there that they couldn't get at Alabama. And so they actually came to Auburn and ended up with scholarships like I was. So you found some common ground there with that. But yes, I did go to school there, which Mitz likes to point out quite often. He finds that extremely humorous. But the thing is having lived there and having not been a fan, so I wasn't orange and blue glasses looking at it like, oh, this is the greatest place ever. That place is a dump, and I hated it. There's all this mystique and whatever, but we won't get into all that. But it's not true, people. It's not true. They try to sell you a bill of goods. Those people are crazy. They are completely blinded and crazy. They drink the Kool-Aid like Jim Jones gave out. It's crazy. But anywho, we'll move on from that. So, I am like two of my other fellows on this podcast, or whatever this rumcast is. I am also in IT. I have been fooling around in the IT world since my teenage years, and I ran a business for a while I was in college, which someday you guys can ask me about that, and that'll go on to tell you my hate for that town that I lived in during school. And then I have worked for the holding company for a large electric utility company in the Southeast for this will be starting my 21st year. So I've been with them a long time, but I am a IT security specialist, which means I fool around in all things cybersecurity related. My specialty inside that area is identity management. I'm actually, for lack of a better term, our identity architect that does our identity designs and all the connections. And if it has to do with getting you access to something, I probably have my hands in it for everybody. So it's kind of an interesting overview of the company, and you get to see a lot of things. Working in the electric utility space, that opens up a lot of things that you get to see. Some of you guys, we talked this week when the hurricane was coming in. It was very busy because we had lots of things going on. We had lots of groups being dispersed. We had a few thousand contractors that were about to come on board to go help do restoration work. You guys keep those folks in the coast in your prayers because the places that were hit, there's not much left. Yeah. The weather people were not exaggerating about that this round. It was bad. But I've been doing cybersecurity work for about this will be starting my 16th year out of that 21 years in security, and security has changed greatly over the years. Joe and I get to talk a lot about stuff because he works in the mobile security space. It's amazing how much things have evolved and changed. You couldn't do what we do now, what we're doing right at this moment, 5 years ago without a lot of expensive equipment. You couldn't do the stuff we play around and do in the parks without a lot of expensive equipment. Now we can run around and be little amateur reporters if we want to be.
Right.
So yeah, I live in a small town in Alabama, almost 20 miles from the state line, so I can I cross over into Georgia pretty regular. I actually have an office in Georgia and an office in Atlanta and an office in Birmingham. That I go back and forth between. I live almost exactly halfway in between the two, so it makes it kind of convenient to do that. So I'm in the car when I'm traveling at least 2 to 3 hours a day if I don't work from the house, and so that's a lot of time to listen to podcasts, catch up with you guys. Joe and Terry get to catch my text to speech a lot going down the road. Surprisingly,
Which I got to say that the text to speech handles your accent a heck of a lot better than it handles Carl's slurring.
Yeah.
I have trained Google well. So, what else you want to know there? Let's see. We covered town. We covered schooling. We covered
your kids.
Kids. I've got 3. I have a 17-year-old and I have a set of twins that are about to be 15. I live in a house full of women. The only other male in the house is the wiener dog. And so it is what it is, man. That's the girls are all very different and involved in very different things. I've got one that's she's into show choir. She's the ambassador. She's into all the scholastic stuff. I got another one that's a majorette, and then I've got the other twin that's not the majorette. She's into robotics and all kinds of computer stuff. So,
the prodigy.
Yeah, she says she is going to be a biomechanical engineer. Good luck. I hope she invents something and I can retire. The other one, Claire, will probably end up being a social media influencer and be richer than all of us.
Probably.
Yeah.
I did not know until recently that is actually a career that people are choosing.
Some of those people are pulling down like $12 million a year.
Oh yeah,
you know,
millions.
That's insane.
You can turn it into a 6-figure job pretty quick. Hey Jeff, there's a goal. We're not cute enough to be social media.
But seriously, you guys are right though, right? Like 6-10 years ago, the media didn't exist.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, think back.
We got.
I was gonna say, think back to trying to do any of this on like MySpace.
Oh my goodness. Tom just
So rum, my friend.
Yes, please. Actually, right now, because of the diet and all, it's typically rum, soda, and a splash of lime, splash of lemon, something like that. If I am indulging and I am in the world, hippopotami. Gotta hunt for the hippopotamus, man. That has to be my favorite. There.
What's that come with?
2 shots of rum. Yeah. So that's my favorite there. One, because I enjoy that because everybody gets into it and is shouting and having a good time, but it's also a really good strong drink. But yes, rum, please. Just in general, if it's not rum, they make some really good stuff from that agave plant. I'm sure Tim and I will get along just fine. We can bounce back and forth. There's a cave and a grotto, so pick one or the other. That would be my favorites. Love of Disney.
Sorry.
Oh, what are you gonna say? Go.
I was just gonna ask you, what about your love of Disney there?
Love of Disney. Joe and I are really close to the same age. and really close to the same kind of childhood experiences. We've talked about this before. Growing up, we watched the Sunday night shows. As we rolled into the end of the 70s, into the early 80s, my grandparents kind of lived a little further out into the country than we did, and couldn't, antenna didn't work, cable wasn't running out that far. So my granddaddy decided he needed one of those ginormous, 12-foot satellite dishes that you could get everything on. And so, I started watching lots and lots of the 60s, the late 60s, 50s Disney movies that were coming across on the various channels there. And in 83, was it 83, 82, 83, the Disney Channel launched. And along with doing that, they were running a lot of specials out of Epcot and out of Disney World and stuff. And I was like, oh, I want to go there. I want to go there. And my dad was like, yeah, right. And I was like, I want to go. And my dad was like, yeah, right. So finally, when I was in a freshman in high school, I was in the band, and we got the option to march, we'd performed at a contest down there, and then we had the option to march down Main Street, which was really cool. And I fell in love with it then. We just had a good time. At that point, it was just Epcot and Magic Kingdom. We were actually there the week that MGM opened and did not get to go.
Oh.
Yes, we were there the week that MGM opened. So what's really cool is outside bus windows and outside parking lots and in and around hotels where we were running around, we got snapshots of lots of stars that popped in and around that were around the parks and stuff because they were opening MGM.
Yeah.
So it was really cool. The park opened. We left on, I don't know, I guess it was Saturday or Sunday, and the park opened on that Monday or Tuesday or something like that. I forget how the time worked out, but we were gone. We were leaving, like we were on the road coming home when they had the grand opening ceremonies and all that stuff. So it's like, really, we couldn't have just moved this trip, So I watched all that from the satellite dish at my grandparents' house when they replayed it the next day, and was just kind of pissy about it for days.
So Adam, you were there about 1 year after I was there with my band.
Okay, and we turned around, and my senior year we went back again. And that time my folks got to go with us. They went as chaperones, and so between those two trips in high school, I did get to go to MGM at that point in time. Got to enjoy it. Got to go finally, and that was ingrained in me that I enjoyed it. And it was a while down the road after I was in college and ran down with some buddies once for like a long spring break weekend kind of thing was the next trip I got to go. And then we didn't go back again until Savannah was a baby, and I was in Orlando for a week-long training class. And I said, you know what, we're not going to be this close and not go. And so we went. And then I regretted that because I toted a baby strapped on me everywhere I went in June. Yeah, you never had fun until you had a 10.5-month-old strapped to your chest, and she yaks down you in the June sun in the middle of the park.
Living the dream.
So I went, you know what? We're not coming back here. I loved it, but I was like, we are not coming back as a family until you can walk. Of course, then the twins showed up. But then it was like, we're not going until they can walk. And so we finally took them in 11 as a family, and we've been, at least since then, we've been probably 2, 3, 4 times a year since then. As a family, we fell in love with it, and I got to show them the things that I enjoyed, and show them things I enjoyed as a kid, and the things that my wife enjoyed as a kid. And so from there, it's become part of our culture. We're known as the crazy Disney people around all of our friends. And I have people ask me all the time, why would you go back there? Why would you keep going back there? I'm like, I have a good time. It's my happy place. I enjoy it. Yeah, that too. But there's so much of the stuff that, now I still enjoy it, but some of the shine might be wearing off with a few of the things they keep doing. I'm not sure. I just got back last week from being down there for a week for a training class. Went to the dark side for a night and an afternoon. I did make it over and visit some of the dads that were down there at Epcot and made it around Food and Wine. Stumbled around Animal Kingdom one day. I think you guys got to see some of that.
Yeah.
But
Best part.
Best park. I will agree. That's growing on me, Terry. Not as a. But yeah, it's the reality is starting to hit in. You got a family of 5 teenage girls. They might want to take friends. They want to do this. You want to do that. It's getting real easy to drop 10 grand a trip now, and that's being generous.
Yeah.
And that's. So I'm looking forward to January, knowing I can spend 2 weeks down there hanging out with you guys, and it ain't even a drop in a bucket to what it
is. Yeah. Well, you're one of the you got us really turned on to the idea of doing the offsite house because of the cost savings, because you usually don't stay on site, do you? And because of that, you're able to go 2 to 4 times a year.
Right. We've done the house thing and several times, and we've done it with large groups. I mean, we've taken as many as 12 people with us and rented a house a couple of different times. So yeah, I've been trying to sell this idea for a few years. And everybody's laughed at me, like, no. I'm like, look, we can do this, and it's possible and it's plausible. I think we finally hit a price point with Disney that it's making it tough. It's making it tough for guys to justify that solo trip down and dropping $2 grand on a hotel room for a week and a half, or cutting the trip so short that you're flying in, flying out. And can't do some things, or like Carl driving down one night and turning around, staying 2 days and driving home.
Right.
Yeah, but if you're going to make it, you make it worth your time. Well, if this goes well, and I think it'll go well, I think we'll learn a lot doing this. But if it goes well, I'm up for trying to maybe coordinate another round the next year. I know there's a lot of guys that are talking about, we want to do this. It's, it's going to be the opening of Star Wars. It's going to be this. It's going to be that. But at the end of the day, if you can shut your trip down, you can cut your trip down, hotel, meals, and everything, and get out for under $1 grand. That's a pretty good, don't eat a Big Mac, a couple of times a week for a year, and you can pay for that.
Right.
Yeah.
As most of us are dads, and we've paid the big price. You can appreciate the smaller price for once.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, Terry and I talked about this last year. We were there for what, 9 days, Terry? 8 or 9 days, something like that. We were there longer than everybody else, pretty much.
Yeah.
And we went to the parks the least amount of anybody. But, we went and had fun. We went and did the stuff we wanted to do in the parks, but we had a good time. There's so much in that area and so much around Orlando, and especially the Disney property, just to wander around and see and just sit and chill. And for me, last year, I had so much fun doing that, just sitting back and doing nothing. Not worrying about having to get somewhere, not worrying about having to run off and do something, just sitting back and chilling, somewhere and having a good conversation. That it's very relaxing. And I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to need that come January when this project is done. My project goes live January. My cutover date is January 1. My holidays are shot. Come January 5th, that Friday morning, I'm actually thinking about leaving that morning. We have a meeting in Atlanta to cut off and do some discussion about some of it. And a couple of my coworkers are on this. I actually have 2 of the guys that are in the group who actually work with me. Michael Perry and Mike Robinson both work with me in various capacities. But that Friday morning, we've got a meeting supposedly scheduled in Atlanta to talk about some of this and how it worked out. I'm thinking about leaving then. When the meeting's over, just leaving and being gone. Won't be the first time. And so I will already be there when you decide to leave, Joe.
Yeah, probably. I won't be too far behind you though, because for us at AIG, we go into a holiday IT freeze about December 10th or so, and that freeze don't let up till somewhere around the 18th, 17th.
Well, see, that's normally us, and then they scheduled this problem that has to be solved, and so we're going to do that. But yes, I'm looking forward to seeing. This was kind of something I've been cooking up since all the way back to DDC 4. I talked to a couple guys about possibly doing this. Was it 4?
3 maybe?
3, 4, 3, 4.
Did you skip 4, didn't you?
Yeah, I skipped 4. It must have been 3 because it was when Tony and I ended up staying up at Universal.
Yeah, that was 3.
That was 3. I kicked it around, and then in 5, I actually almost just rented a house and said if anybody wants to show up, because it was going to be the same price for me to rent the house and stay as it was to do something else. And then I almost did it again. Yeah, it was definitely 5 because we ended up staying in Pop. Me and Mike did, and for the price I paid for that hotel room in Pop, I could have rented a house for the same number of days.
Right.
Yeah.
And I kind of regret not doing it because I think there would have been looking now. I think there would have been a few guys that just took me up on it at the last minute and showed up. So now we're doing this. I'm already scoping houses for the possibility of the next one. I may have found a new neighborhood that I want to look in. My last trip down. So there's some cool stuff and cool houses, cool layouts. We really liked this one when we settled on it. So I'm hoping everybody that comes has a good time, and I'm hoping that getting in and out of the resort and getting in and out and everything is not a headache. I don't think it's a community, but I don't know that it's necessarily a full locked off gated community like a couple of them are. Not quite the hassle to get in and out and come and go.
Right.
A couple of them that we've stayed in recently, they are locked off gated communities with security guards at the gate, and they check IDs when you come and go and all that kind of stuff, and make sure you have your rental pass and all that. And no, that's a hassle. That's a hassle factor. You feel safe, but it's a hassle factor. So DDC's attended. When I look at those, I missed the first one. I regret missing the first one. I actually had an annual pass. My wife told me to go. We had a couple of things come up, and I just didn't get in touch with everybody and try to work something out. And I really didn't just want to go stay by myself.
He didn't know what he was missing.
I know. And when you guys came back, I went, oh, hell no, I won't miss this again. And unfortunately, I did miss 4. I think it was 4. That was the year we bought our house. So I've missed 1 and 4. Buying the house, we had everything tied up and trying to move, relocate, get things done. And I didn't really want to endanger that, so to speak, even though the family was fully behind me going if I wanted to. So I look forward to this every year now. This is just one of those things that keeps me going. I clock it down to spending time with you guys, doing these podcasts, some of the chats we've had at night. Since we started the group me chats last year, and we've kept them going all year.
It's made the year go by so much smoother and less stressful just thinking about this at any given moment.
I agree.
Just knowing I can drop a thing in there and go, hey guys, hey, I'm thinking about this. We're clocking down, or oh wow, we get the, yeah, you have the Facebook stuff and you have this and you have that, but you've got those chat groups that we've got going, and it's just the word. This may not be the right word, but it's intimate. It's more personable, and
it's cheap.
You get to do what?
It's cheap.
It's cheap. It's cheap. Yeah.
You are running out of excuses if you can't make these trips now.
And so we've got all this stuff going on, and it just I've grown closer to you guys, even more so over the last year. That I've had a lot of things going personally, and some of you guys have been there that are my buddies from the DDCs and from the club and whatever, and it's very cool to be able to have this platform and have this club and have these guys. That's we all like Disney, and we're all not too and nobody's too manly to if we wanted to, we'd all prance around in our Disney ears if we it's
we're comfortable in our manhood.
exactly
That's right.
and we've got every kind of guy in this group you could think of, and yeah, Joe's got his ears on. Exactly.
Mickey Bar ears for the win.
There you go. Cheers, Joe. So this DDC, I am looking forward to. I am truly, truly have my fingers crossed that this red and white and green and gold party actually happens.
Oh man!
Because there is nothing. Like I've said before, there's only really two schools that I really just want to thump their fans completely, and both of them wear orange as a primary color, and both are in proximity. And outside of that, I can get along with just about anybody else over it, because most people, have a realistic view of what's going on, and have a good time with it, and generally don't get too wrapped up in it to the point that they're just fighting mad over it.
Jay. Love you, brother.
I will say this. I have given Jason, I've picked at him on and off, and he takes it in the stride most of the time. We talk pretty regular. But I get it. You guys give me a hard time, but when somebody beats the king, then y'all can lay it on.
Right.
Heavy is the head that wears the crown.
Carl's drinking.
So, so if this works out, you guys need to come. If you want to come down early to the house, y'all come on, figure it out. We're gonna have a good time. We have a 105-inch movie room that we're gonna put that game up on, and hope that Joe and I don't kill each other.
We may need Big Joe to come down. Big J, sorry, to come down and
sit in the middle,
between
the mediator
the on the couch to watch this. I don't know if I'm enough to have a divider there.
I was gonna say Terry's seen me. Actually, Terry got to witness in one game the highs and the lows of what I go through watching a football game.
Adam's as entertaining as the game, maybe even more so. So we're going to do our best Monday to live stream whatever is going on.
Whatever happens.
Whatever happens, man. But yeah, I'm looking for that. If that comes to be, that may be one of the highlights. We're not even going to hit the parks that day.
Right. We'll just throw some ribeyes on the grill and just call it a night.
Exactly. But I'm looking forward to getting to go to Give Kids the World with you guys and spend time there. That's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to just sitting around and catching up with everybody, seeing everybody face to face, raising a glass and just having a good time. I'm looking forward to hopefully being able to unplug from work for a few days. Hopefully things will be on autopilot at that point, and really be able to relax and put the next 60 to 80 days of my life behind me that's about to have to go through. And it's going to be very, very, very enjoyable. Look, it's just hanging out, man. That's what I'm looking forward to. Just being able to hang out with everybody.
Yeah.
So Terry, you got to go down the list now.
We're stretching out at over an hour and a half here now, I think.
Okay, well, we'll do you next time.
Yeah, we can save Terry for next one.
Yeah, we'll do Terry next time. So guys, we've rambled on, and you've got to hear us. We've gotten pretty rambling, but that's okay. We had some technical glitches. We broke YouTube. We probably didn't break it, but we'll claim we did.
The power of the DisDads.
We got the Fry guy on, and the Tikis. You know, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, it's still broke.
So one of the things
Like,
we've been doing every show, and I'm going to continue to do it every show until January is over with, and that's the disclaimer. Guys, come down, have a great time, but remember, this is your vacation too. You don't have to stick around and do everything we do. Do whatever it is you want to do. Do whatever it is you need to do that's making your trip worthwhile. It's your vacation. Make it your way. Just wanted to let you guys know that, you know, again, it don't have to do everything we've scheduled and planned, but we appreciate seeing you. Definitely want to hang out and get to know you. Look forward to seeing you at the barbecue.
Awesome. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Jeff. Thanks, Joe and Adam.
Absolutely, guys.
had a good time.
Thanks for the guys that were watching from YouTube and then jumped over on Facebook and kept the chat going. We appreciate you guys having watch us every week that we do this. You know, we do it for you, and again, trying to tie the days together between now and the DDC when it all happens on property.
Yeah, it's coming quick there, guys.
Can't wait.
What are we at? We're at 81 days for the early arrivers.
Yep.
84 for me.
84 for me.
81,
Awesome.
79. Not real sure at this point.
Whenever the meeting's over.
Joe, we're not even going to talk to Joe right now.
40 something. Oh no, 38. I posted it this morning. It was 38.
Oh, yeah.
Say it.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
all right, Joe, roll the credits.
All right, guys. Let me get my close here. We do these podcasts for you guys, and they're brought to you by the Disney Vacation Club. Hey, where's my ticker, man? Play it. Jason. Why is my closing statement not working? There it is. So we do this for the DisDads Club, Disney Vacation Club resorts we stay at, and we do it for viewers like you guys. Thanks again for watching. Y'all have a great night.